Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event.
Oh, yeah!
Are you ready?
And now, coming live from Wrestling-News.net and presented by Spreaker, it's Main Event Madness. Madness Unleashed. You can call into the show by calling 305-600-4708 and tweet us during the show using the hashtag MEM Radio Live. And with that, here are your hosts for tonight, John Curry and Mark Madison.
Who else was on?
We are live, folks. Sorry for the little bit of delay there, and sorry to cut you off there, Mark. Hope you guys had a great, for those of you living in the States, hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you guys didn't lose your minds too much with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday, everybody's stressed Sunday, you know. I had a tremendous holiday, sprinkled in between a horrendous work schedule, but you know, and with me today, as always, is my co-pilot, my partner, Mr. Mark Madison. How are you, sir?
Not too bad, John. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Just ate my weight in some. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go. Sorry, I had a little bit of issues there. Just ate my weight in some red velvet cake before we went on the air. Probably not the best idea, but it was good. That's the important part. And with us also, to kick off the week, this is a little bit of a shorter edition of the show this week, but with us today is a man well-educated, about as polar opposite of soft-spoken about WWE as humanly possible. A man who, as about as eclectic history within wrestling and arts as his show is, Legends TV, which you guys can catch every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on MadhouseTV.com. Mr. Evan Ginzburg, the associate producer of the Oscar-nominated film The Wrestler. How are you, sir?
I'm still experiencing the afterglow of the 3 hours from Raw Monday night.
Now, Mark, did you watch Raw?
Not all of it, and
you're not missing anything.
I didn't miss very much by the sounds of it. So, I did kick out at one point.
I wish I did. So let's see. The only highlight, actually. There really wasn't one aside. I guess you could say the New Day. But at what point do you got to try to put, why not put longer matches on? Why not let Breeze and Ziggler go for 20, 30 minutes? Instead of seeing Sheamus 3 times. Instead of seeing the New Day, which I love the New Day as much as anybody, but it's, overexposure kills people faster than just about anything in wrestling. And seeing the New Day about 6 times, seeing Rusev twice, The Miz once. I think Evan had some borderline heart failure when The Miz was on for about 15 minutes. What else? We had the Usos twice. I don't know. I just thought it was really, really bad.
Well, the ongoing issue is, as much as I also enjoy New Day, it's a great, great act. The Usos are wrestling the Lucha Dragons. You're having a nice little match, and before you blink, New Day does a run-in, kills the match dead. And, they're coming from a very different place than a lot of the viewers. The viewers want to see quality wrestling, and they want to provide what they think is entertainment, but comedy is supposed to be funny, and generally it isn't on WWE, and basically you have the worst talk show in the history of TV at this point. They talk and they talk and they talk, and it always, I shouldn't say always, but almost always starts with Stephanie and Triple H yabbering endlessly, and you look at your watch and you go, there's been no wrestling. It's 8:25, and they don't understand why people are tuning off. Come on.
I had a perfect point, and brain farts are the ultimate enemy of podcasting.
Blame the Red Velvet.
I probably will blame the Red Velvet. Mark, how do you feel about the state of WWE and Monday Night Raw right now?
We can attest it to bad writing. We could also attest it to injuries to really good talent, because there was no Kevin Owens, and I know one of the reports was that he was ill, and it's unfortunate. And now Cesaro's hurt, and a lot of the guys that could help to put on really great matches aren't there. But there are guys, like you said, that they could. Now, whether that's because they don't want to take the chance and show, what Ziggler can do, not Ziggler, but what Breeze can do on the main stage, I don't know. But that's the hard part is, it's funny. It almost feels like we're having this circular conversation like we had a couple weeks back, where in order to succeed, you have to take those chances. Mm-hmm. If you're the number one promotion, take the chances. Make guys wrestle. It can't be hard. I always hear that third hour is the hardest to script, but it can't be that hard when you let guys wrestle.
Yeah, when exactly. Let them wrestle. Simple. Let them wrestle.
Exactly. If it's got to be the easiest. Yeah, you've got to fill a commercial, but if you're wrestling for 20 minutes and you have to break into a commercial, your live audience is still seeing wrestling. Your televised audience will see what you missed. You could feed into the WWE app, and this is what was online, and but still keep it going. It's got to be the easiest to do, but I don't know why they do that.
And they have a very different vision. Anyways. Their vision is comedy and promos and hyping the next pay-per-view. Their vision is not to put on great wrestling. When you have a 7-on-4 tag team match, it's a circus. You could have Finn Balor wrestling any one top guy and have a tremendous match, and they choose not to. They're looking for a circus-like atmosphere, and they don't understand that they're alienating. I guess they do understand, because they literally asked the quote-unquote wrestling universe why the ratings are down, why people are leaving, and they're getting a lot of negative feedback. But at the same time, I think they're almost hostile to their audience. You should be more loyal and stay tuned in. Well, give us something that's worth tuning in for.
Now, I had a question, not necessarily WWE related, but this goes across pro wrestling as it is right now. And so we're talking the TNAs, and we're talking Ring of Honors, and not necessarily Lucha Underground, because their season hasn't started yet. But when you look at those other promotions, are their numbers down as well?
It seemed that Ring of Honor's numbers were down, and they're being put on another station. But when you turn on Ring of Honor and you have Jay Lethal and Roderick Strong wrestling for 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, and it makes you proud to be a wrestling fan instead of embarrassed, they have a very different idea of what pro wrestling is. How could they not push Finn Balor through the roof? You have one of the finest wrestlers in the world. He's a young guy. He's in the peak of his powers. You have Kane and Mark Henry, and these guys have been around forever. At some point, give somebody else a real chance.
Hey, actually, to their point, since Survivor Series, and he was only around for a week or two going into Survivor Series, we haven't had Kane, we haven't had Big Show, and we haven't had Mark Henry. Ironically, when we could use them to fill up roster spots, they're not using them. And I mean, Evan would still probably rip out his hair if he saw, the three of them. But, it was a problem they had a few years ago. I don't know if Evan would remember right offhand. You might, Mark. it was their UK tour they did in the spring back after WrestleMania 23, and
Okay.
they were promoting Edge versus Randy Orton, and then WrestleMania rematch non-title John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. Orton got into a lot of trouble, and he got I think sent to rehab or something. It was flown back to the States, so they didn't have Orton there for the advertised match. He got in trouble, I think, like during Raw or something, or they had that already set up. Either way, so what do? They let John Cena and Shawn Michaels wrestle for an hour.
Wow.
And it's to this day one of John Cena's top 3 matches. And to this day, if people sit there, and I actually just had this debate with a couple friends of mine, if you think of John Cena's best matches, one of the first ones that comes to mind is Shawn Michaels in the UK. And I mean, it's still one of their higher. I mean, they didn't lose ratings. You know, they think that people tune in for, like Evan said, for like the circus aspect of it. When you're losing ratings, why? Because those kids you were gearing towards 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago, are seeing this and they're like, I don't want to watch that crap.
Oh, because those kids aren't kids anymore.
Exactly, they're running.
So who's your target demographic? If John Cena was the poster boy, isn't there to sell the merch?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there like a shift?
And I mean, well, it's that, and they're running into the problem they ran into in 97. Not 97, I'd say 96. Right when they're on the cusp of going into the Attitude Era. And I'm not saying, you know, they need to go back to the Attitude Era and have women going out 3/4 naked and, you know, dropping F-bombs every other word. You know, and people bleeding like they just came out of Hannibal Lecter's playpen. But, you know, edge it up a little bit. You literally can't do any worse than historically low ratings.
Also, you have to care. You have, at bare minimum, any entertainment. When you watch The Walking Dead, for example, you care about the characters.
Yep.
When you watch a bad slasher film, you don't care. You know, and they both are considered horror. When you watch a Jay Lethal and a Roderick Strong, you feel that the match matters, the title matters. When you watch 7 guys wrestling 4 guys, you go, this is meaningless. It's absolutely meaningless. Why do I care who's going to win this match?
And you know I'm sorry to cut you off, Evan.
That's okay.
The perfect example of their asinine booking. Anybody could tell you, what storyline are they doing with Roman Reigns right now? It's the exact same storyline they did with Daniel Bryan. What's the biggest thing they didn't do with Daniel Bryan? Spoiler alert, people, for those 3 or 4 of you that actually watch SmackDown. What'd they do on SmackDown? Roman Reigns versus the League of Nations. I like the name. I hate the people in it. Well, some of the people in it, Sheamus. 4-on-1 elimination handicap match, and Reigns wins clean.
Yeah,
over your United States champion.
For the 4 guys, you know? Doesn't
So
diminish the 4 guys.
Yeah,
Definitely.
And then how do you project Roman Reigns as an underdog when your top 4 guys that just closed out, the New Day? As much as I love them, they're mid-carders at best right now. They're supposed to be the difference maker in that group on Monday. You have your United States champion, your world champion, a former United States champion, and I still think one of the best talents you got on the whole roster in Bad News Barrett. Granted, I think they said that Sheamus and Barrett walked out on them, which, what was the point of setting up a whole faction if you're just going to destroy it 3 days later? I mean, I don't understand. And, you know, there's promos that Vince used to cut years ago, and I don't think that was script. I literally think that's what he means, or he said what he meant. The people don't know what they want. You guys don't know what you want. I know what you want better than you know what you want. And I truly believe Vince believes that.
What I want to see is quality wrestling.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody pin somebody in the middle of the ring without any nonsense, and you know, I grew up on Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat, Dory Funk and Jack Briscoe. You know, even The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar was amazing, and you cared who won that match.
Yep.
And that's what it always comes down to. You have Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze, who are both quality wrestlers, but nobody cares. They wrestle each other over and over and over again.
And a 5-minute match that was about Summer Rae. Wasn't even about the two of them having a program. And
she's like furniture. She just kind of stands there. I mean, she's not Jim Cornette. She's not Lou Albano. She just kind of stands there.
And
so, who cares?
Pretty much. And it's kind of asinine to me. And Mark, I want to get your opinion on this. A week or two ago, I think it was a week ago, they started running on NXT. They started running vignettes for Sami Zayn's return. You're missing John Cena, which, granted, John Cena is going to be back within the month. But you're missing John Cena, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Big Show Kane, Undertaker, Mark Henry, I think I said Seth Rollins.
Cesaro,
the Brock Lesnar. Why in the hell?
Build young stars.
That's what I'm getting to. Why in the hell wouldn't you have Sami Zayn come back to the main roster?
Of course.
Why? I get people want to. And you know, my friend Matt, which you guys can check out, cheap plug, check out Work in Progress. We'll hopefully have a new episode up pretty soon here. You know, a lot of people, there's like 2 million subscribers for the WWE Network. How many of them do you think honestly religiously watch NXT? At most, half of them. And how many of them watch it enough to care that they remember who Sami Zayn is?
John, they got 2 million?
I think it's close to it, yeah, with domestic and international.
I thought it was just over 1, I'll be honest, because I thought the fluctuation between people can't lose subscriptions.
You know, I don't even remember the last time. You very well could be right. I might have just been
the discerning part,
making it sound better for them.
Nauseum, and then what ends up happening is you've lost your viewership. But really the most important thing is please don't give away the ending of the mid-season finale to The Walking Dead, because I haven't mentioned that, and that's what I care most about right now.
Rick dies. No, I just made that up. I made that up. No, he didn't. But, anyway.
But, like, I got into a debate with Wayne, because he's like, well, wrestling would be better if fans didn't bitch. No, it's our right to bitch. When the product's so bad, and he was in denial that it's stale. Well, it's not stale, it just needs a spark. So you're saying it's stale. Like, and he's like, well, you know, you're just going to come back and watch it next week anyway. I'm like, no. If I'm off, I probably won't. I'll probably watch Supergirl. I got NCIS at 10. I could easily play a video game for the hour in between it.
Well, you can TiVo it and watch the 20 minutes that are worth watching.
That's what I've done. Like, I've had the last 2 Mondays off. Or Monday nights off, I should say. And that's the first time consecutively that I've been able to watch Raw, and I don't even remember the last time. And I'll be honest with you, I wish I wasn't here for it. It was so bad. And then you want people to take your baby faces seriously, and you have them beat up by guys who... When's the last time Barrett's been booked to mean anything? When's the last time... Nobody takes Rusev seriously anymore because he's hurt every other week, worse than Batista was. Sheamus is a laughable excuse of a champion, considering he was barely on Raw, and hardly even in a storyline for the last month. Actually, last week before he won. Huh?
I could have sworn he stole Corporate Kane's suit.
I think he did.
That black suit with red tie looks awfully familiar.
And what sense does it make? You got this whole program going up with Alberto Del Rio with Zeb Coulter against Jack Swagger, and then you have Alberto Del Rio come out with his new faction, and Zeb Coulter's not with him. And that might be it.
Flooded his engine.
Yeah, you know, maybe Jack Swagger put some sugar in the gas tank. I don't know. But, that could just be me nitpicking, but anywhere Brock Lesnar went when Heyman's with him, he's got Heyman with him. Anywhere The Undertaker went back in the early 90s, Paul Bearer was with him. Anywhere Abyss went when Abyss first started, he had James Mitchell with him.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, let's see. Anywhere Dolph Ziggler went, Vicky Guerrero was with him. There really aren't many.
But getting back to, let's say, Del Rio and Swagger. Okay, so you have America versus a foreign champion. Well, again, does anybody actually care about this feud? I mean, actually care. When Sergeant Slaughter and the Iron Sheik were wrestling, it was the hottest thing in the world. I mean, you have to care about these people. Either they're charisma challenged, or the writing is horrific, or the dialogue is so stilted and corny that you just have no emotional involvement. Brock Lesnar says nothing, and you care because you go, this guy's convincing.
Yep.
This guy can kill you with his bare hands. You care.
I think Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that they're talking about Owens against Lesnar at WrestleMania, so you got these big, badasses, and that would be a match that people would actually care about, and that's what you need in this business. You need two people to create a feud, not one guy who's charisma challenged. Barrett's a fine wrestler, but he's got zero charisma. Swagger's got zero charisma. Swagger's got every hold in the book. Ziggler is a great wrestler, but he's not charismatic, not particularly. I'm sorry. I mean, I actually like him as a wrestler, but there's not a lot going on there. He's not superstar Billy Graham, as far as charisma. So you need two guys that people care about in a feud that people care about. Undertaker and Brock Lesnar was as good as it gets, so they're capable of it. But 19 out of 20 times, they're falling flat on their faces.
And it's pretty sad. Before we got to head into commercial here in a couple minutes. I'm going to give you a couple minutes of shameless shilling. But it's pretty bad. Everybody was all excited when Del Rio came back a couple months ago, and
Guy's great, but you need an opponent.
Actually, I'm actually more interested in Jack Swagger than I am Del Rio right now. Just Del Rio's not doing anything for me.
Well, the writing is horrific.
Yep.
So, you have to care about the angle in the feud, too.
That you do. Now, Evan, you mentioned a cluster F of shows coming up. Would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. This Saturday at Theater 294 in East Farmingdale, Long Island, yours truly is promoting a vaudeville show. We're bringing back vaudeville for the 21st century, and we're going to have wrestlers, magicians, comedians, singers, rappers. Anyway, if you visit legendstvnyc.com, all the information is on there. If you go to my Facebook page, EVANGINZBURG, you can find out all about this big show this Saturday night at 7:30 in East Farmingdale, Long Island. The legitimate theater. Edie Falco used to do shows out of there, I'm told, and nice venue, and we're going to have a fun show. 12 acts, $20, cheap night out. So that's another thing about pro wrestling, guys. When you're charging $130 ringside for house shows, it damn well should be good. Come on.
It's been a while. I think there might be another zero on top of that now, especially some of these arenas they go for house shows. But anyway,
the VIP tickets at Madison Square Garden are $599. You know why? Because $600 would be greedy. $599. They give you a chair and you get to say hello to one of the wrestlers. Wow, $599. So they're not giving it away.
It's all about the money. But Evan, thank you for coming on. Look forward to talking with you soon. Always a pleasure to hear your very soft-spoken opinions on the WWE product.
Hey, look, I try to be honest. I watched Undertaker and Lesnar. I was enthralled. I was like, this is great. So I'm speaking out of frustration because you know what they're capable of. And, why settle for less if you can provide that kind of product? And, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it for the sake of being critical. I'm saying it as a fan who cares. Anyway, have a great rest of the show, guys. Appreciate it.
Not a problem, Evan. Thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Bye. Bye.
All right, guys. Evan Ginzburg. Guys, check him out. Legends TV every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. MadhouseTV.com and LegendsTVNYC.com. Mark.
John, you know what? I'm feeling really disjointed, and I apologize because kind of had to jump into something when we were getting ready to go on air, and I apologize 100 times over. But I'm hoping eventually it'll all be worth it. What I am feeling is a little sad today.
Oh, we got to talk about this. Because I feel so bad for you guys. And I'm not saying this as a happy thing, but you guys lost out. No.
Yeah.
Can we both just collectively point?
Million reasons why I'm upset.
Can we just both point and laugh at Boston?
Boston Red Sox.
We do. Everybody in baseball just needs to point and laugh at them. 31 going on 32-year-old pitcher, and you give them a $217 million contract. He is actually now the highest paid baseball player in history.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not worth it.
Yeah, because I'm not sure how Giancarlo Stanton's deal works out with Florida, because I think the dollar amount was up there, but...
I know Cabrera was the first 30, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he?
Yeah, because now
he was the first $30 million a year.
That's the key with a pitcher. I mean, see, this is a wrestling show, and it spawned into a baseball conversation, but, yeah, we're just recovering. Listen, unlike anybody that doesn't like the evil empire in the Yankees, I would rather overpay for that one championship and years of not achieving than to not even have that opportunity. And that's where I think we're at. But
you guys, I feel bad for you guys. Because now you guys are stuck with an aging Mark Burley.
Huh?
Did he
hang
it up?
Yeah, I think his contract had ended. I'm not sure on that, but all indications, I mean, we've got 4 starters, one of which is Ari Dickey. A lot of things we got to kind of reassess. But I don't know. There's still guys out on the market. We'll see how it goes.
You know, I was afraid that the Yankees would sign him. Because I knew he would want a 7, 8, 6-year contract. And he's not worth it. Although, you know what's scary?
What?
If Greinke goes to the Giants.
That's the talk, right?
Yeah, he's between the Dodgers and Giants. I love me some Giants. And I don't know. That's scary. When you've got Madison Bumgarner, Matt Cain, and Zach Greinke, and I think they've got another good starter besides him. I can't think of who it is. That's scary.
How much is left in Sabathia's deal?
I want to say this is it.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
But he helped them win a championship.
Yeah, so. I wouldn't have signed him as long as we did. I don't know. Red Sox, yeah, okay. And David Price, Boston Red Sox land their version of Yankees CC Sabathia.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I'm looking to see really quick when that contract's up. But you guys got to try to get somebody, though. You guys need somebody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Canadian Talk Radio is all like, how do you give us a taste of something we've missed?